Okay. First up, we are going to have reader Patrick Rosal, if he is in fact ready. Patrick!
Hi!
Hey, Patrick! Woo! Sorry, Mom's making jokes in the back.
No, it's fine. I understand.
How you doing, everybody?
Woo-hoo!
Good, good. Yeah, I love it over. Dream of the girl with 8 limbs. Hands to hustle, hands to hatchet, hands to a light, hands to pick kindling from the brambles, hands to ache against the wood, hands to nail them still. Hands to break across long stones, hands to haggle a crucifix for bread, hands to haul from the infant's grave cold water, hands to cover the puny heart, hands to pound that muscle back to its beastly life, hands to write these lies, hands to cross them out, hands to lug the goat by rope to the bloody block, hands to sting, hands to coat the first lick of honey from your hips, hands to cut gristle from gut, hands to murder time, hands to tell it, hands to behemoth, hands to sting, hands to tie a perfect knot around the throat, hands to lead the rest of the body blind, hands to count piggies and engines, hands to pinch the cigar's burnt out stub, hands to bid on field niggers, hands to clench the 6-foot whip, hands to crack it, hands to yank it back by the tip, hands to fill deep wells, hands to shoot the shoddy guns, hands to solder the metal mouth shut, hands to salute the shroud, and hands to stain it with berries and blood, hands to hold small animals underwater, hands to untame them, hands to burn the cassock, hands to sew it to the skin, hands to open the book to blasphemy, hands to hold it to flame, hands to splash muddy in chin-deep waters, hands to sallow white linen, to spoil the wall, to flap the fifth, hands to dial demons at 2 a.m., hands to pin down their wrists, hands to light the last cold lanterns, hands to welcome winter's tooth, hands to twist the bent bronze key before it snaps off in the frost, hands to pick the lock and pluck the jewel, hands to slide it deep inside the sleeping king's throat, hands to separate one lamb from the next, hands to pour the bitter liquor, hands to sip from, hands to slap the dumb child across his one good eye, hands to test the rivers, hands to paddle you out, hands to exhume the living, hands to offer rock salt to horses, hands to grip the crowbar, hands to drive the heavy hook into the giant's left knee, hands to gouge it for its cartilage, hands to catch cold rain, hands to spit in, hands to reject lightning, hands to caress the wreckage, hands to push it off your chest, hands to nudge the stocking up mid-thigh, hands to shred the wings of swans, hands to drive the mule that pulls the plow, hands to savage his rump with a wrist-thick switch, hands to beat the broken piano for bass, hands to hold the bolo's blade, to hack in half a coconut, to lift the husk to your lips, hands to stall the gods like pelicans, hands to flock them, hands to feed them stale cornbread, sugar, dead fish. Tamarind. They say my cousin half embraced the man he stuck a cudgel into during a drunken scuffle. Joseph is out of jail 10 years now. His hands are like twisted copper. As if remorse hasn't aged him, he can go weeks without a razor to his face. We both stink from drinking too much the night before, so our job now is to fill a couple buckets with a few kilos of sour fruit we'll soak in vinegar, a remedy our uncles teach us to douse the 1,000 rum-sick monkeys howling between our ears. Lucky it's October, when one good rain can detonate from the smallest sprigs of the oldest tree on my uncle's farm hundreds of swelled-up tamarinds overnight. And those limbs weighed down will sag so low their tips will graze our thighs. half a year's worth of light, stewed until a whole tree's acidic nectar turns to a sticky, thick bounty of fat husks. Even hungover, we can't contain ourselves, hoarding with one hand 2 and 3 tamarinds at a time, each of them twice the bulk of a big man's forefinger. I drop my bucket to snatch one bulging fruit off its branch, and the pod I barely pinch with 3 fingertips bursts to dusty fog and a couple brown flakes clinging to the ruined fruit's few limp veins. What's more, the busted husk has unfurled a fine line of burgundy around my hand and wrist. Turns out, a mass of ants has hollowed the tamarind and left its dry, fragile husk intact until I crushed it open and set loose this sanguine regiment into my palm. A delicate rivulet of dark red run up my trigger finger and thumb, swarming now my forearm, splintering several swift paths around my elbow. I try to shake them off. The toughest ones hang on. I stomp out a little 2-step and slide, trying to rock them free. Joseph, by now, has lost his mind laughing, and I've lost all good sense too. Today, I'm grateful to dance beneath a tamarind tree beside a 2-bit assassin instead of the woman I adore. I brush the last dozen little beasts from my armpit, and Joseph takes my hands in his and claps them as if that could make them clean. My cousin whistles all the way back to the house where we spill the tamarinds across a table, peel the fruit one by one, and lick the drippings from our palms. We taste sap and salt in our own skin's grit. We suck the fruit's sour green pulp down to their smooth, ruby hard pits. I'm sure not one good thing can come from murder, but a lifetime of summer harvests may as well sprout out of our histories every ruddy seed, and all such muddy gems, and every bloody stone.